My Little Pony is owned by DHX Media and Hasbro Studios. Please support the official release. Hello YouTube, T-Sparks here for an MLP character study, I guess you could call it. I call this one, Why Do People Defend Iron Will? After the recent episode, Once Upon a Zeppelin, I have noticed a lot of reviewers and a lot of reactors claiming that Iron Will's actions in this episode are out of character for him, and that it was a disservice to his character. That he's an honest guy and he shouldn't be pulling a con like this. But I don't get where they're coming from here. He's only been in one episode before this, and people claim that it was an honest business and he was actually trying to help people. But where do they get that idea from? I don't know if it's what you guys think, but for me, assertivist training is nothing but a con. Sure, it helps some people, but for the most part, it's just like a TV preacher. They preach all this stuff, promising you all this great things if you do what they tell you to, but then they ask for your money. And then, all of a sudden, the big secret is, oh, just be more assertive. That was the whole thing of his seminar, was, oh, just go be a bitch to everybody, and you'll be on top. In fact, that's what he said when he went to get the money. He says, oh, you're the baddest bitch in town, and nobody's gonna screw with you. Give me my money. But you didn't do a damn thing for that. And sure, it could be argued that he pushed Fluttershy in the right direction, and yes, she did get better by the end of the episode, by taking it too far. But Iron Will's workshop was nothing but a con. It was always a con. Like when he said, everybody has always been satisfied. That's bull. Or should I say monitor. There's always going to be someone that's unsatisfied. Even if you have a real product that works perfectly and is a good value, there will always be dissatisfied customers. But why aren't they with an Iron Will? Because he's a con man. It's about the cult of personality. We've seen in the world lately that you can get away with anything if you have the right personality. If you command your followers to follow you blindly, they don't care what you do wrong. Now in this episode, it was a very low-level con. Let's face it. He knew Twilight from Fluttershy. I'm sure she mentioned Twilight to him. And then, of course, he read the papers where she became a world-saving princess. When he got his business, he went out and said, wait a minute, I could probably con her family into coming on the cruise and make some money off of her. And since her sister-in-law is a princess too, and their baby is also one, 3 princesses for the price of 1. Now, is he to blame for the con? About 50%. Twilight's mom, she blew it by not checking the contract. But we can see Twilight does not get her analytical skills from her mom. That's from her dad. I'm sure if her dad... That is another question that comes up. Why didn't he read the contract? Because it seems clear he's a lot like Twilight that way. But it would have eliminated the episode. So, was Iron Will in the right in this episode? No. Did they treat his character inconsistently? I do not think so. He has always shown himself to be a headstrong cult of personality. That's all he is. He is out to sell himself. Now, he used Twilight because it was an easy means to do that. I'm the only one that can get you time with your favorite princesses. It seems like a con to me. I just don't understand why so many people are protecting Iron Will and claiming that they did a disservice to his character. We've only seen him once. He has never showed himself to be a caring individual that cares anything about anything but himself. I will admit, when he accepted Fluttershy's no mean no, that was a good moment for him. That proves that he doesn't exactly... He doesn't exactly accept no, but he does respect Fluttershy enough to see that he's not going to get anywhere, and that maybe it's time to let this go. Now, one more thing I'd like to mention before the end of this video, which no one's probably watching, how Twilight knew Iron Will. For one, no, she did not meet him in the episode. But can you really tell me that when Fluttershy went through something that extreme, that she didn't tell Twilight about the whole thing? About Iron Will? And how many Minotaurs have we seen in Equestria? I'm pretty sure she was told all about it by Rarity, Pinkie, and Fluttershy. Not to mention, before Twilight said anything, he said, "You can call Iron Will, Iron Will." So, it's quite clear that Fluttershy told Twilight about what happened. So stop getting your panties in a twist out of how she knew him. It's pretty obvious. Now, am I saying this episode is perfect? Of course not. No episode is. I just wanted to state my opinion on why I think Iron Will is a little overrated here. I just don't think he deserves all this defense for his character. I don't hate the guy, but he reminds me a lot of Grunkle Stan. And Grunkle Stan, I didn't like at the beginning, but I grew to understand him over the series, and his motivations were actually pure. Iron Will, maybe if we knew more about him personally, I would respect him, but as of this point, I don't. He's just a car salesman, trying to sell you an undercoating that won't do anything. I'm sorry this was so hard on Iron Will. I just felt there was a need to be addressed. In this age of conmen running stuff, I won't get too far into it because that might cause a riot. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Conmen are everywhere in our society today, and they are in major seats of power. It is really tearing this country apart. So I'm not going to just sit by and let a con not be called not a con, just because he seems like a nice guy. That is how we got into this mess in the first place. I'm sorry if this video got into a little too long of a rant, and that's all I have to say. And please support the official release. Bye now.